First of all, thank you. We're running a webzine called Acta Infernalis, focusing on the metal scene and stuff with screamy people, etc., etc.
All right.
So, first of all, thank you very much. How do you feel?
Tired. Yeah, so we had a fast drop off. Like Moulin Rouge is always pretty busy, you know. So it's like when you come with the bus, everything has to go out as soon as possible, and then just bus is leaving, you know. So no time for a nap. Yeah, so I'm tired.
So could you please introduce yourself and the band GHØSTKID without using the usual musical labels such as metal or stuff?
So I would say, you know, that's always like this awkward question, because basically GHØSTKID is like a solo project, so you could say, okay, that I'm GHØSTKID, you know, but yeah, I'm doing vocals and like all this production work and so on and so on. Yeah, so and musical wise, I don't know, industrial metal, rock, whatever, something in between.
Okay. So what does the name GHØSTKID, where does the name GHØSTKID come from, and what is the link with the music?
So when I was back with my old band, so I wanted to start a solo project, and I said, okay, if I'm gonna start it one day, it's gonna be GHØSTKID. I don't know why, but the name just resonated with me in a special way, and yeah, I just kept it, you know. So I think, yeah, I don't know, it just felt right, you know. So there is no like specific story behind that.
Okay. So you just released your new album, Hollywood Suicide. How do you feel about the album?
So I'm happy that it's done, because it took 4 years or something, you know. I mean, good, I've not been writing music like in the first 2 years, but yeah, I'm happy that it's done, you know, and that another chapter is closed. So time to start chapter 3, I would say, yeah. And I mean, the response is great, so I'm super happy how it turned out, like in the end. But yeah, I'm happy then we finally got some new music to play live, you know, and yeah, so I'm happy about that.
Okay. So, how did the creation process happen for Hollywood Suicide, and did you see any differences with the first album?
I would say like the consciousness is different, you know. I mean, it was a long time since the debut album, and I would say like it kind of changed a bit, like, because in the beginning it was more like, okay, good, I mean, I'm always writing the same way. I need to get something out of my system and just transfer it into music, but this time I have like a consciousness for that, you know. So, and I got more self-confident when it comes down to writing tracks and so on. So I would say that was probably like the biggest involvement, just to listen to myself and not just to focus on everything else, you know, which is probably like the hardest part, because you're surrounded by so many great bands. And yeah, I think that was like the biggest difference. And for me, actually, I don't know when I started writing music. So it was after a trip to LA. I was there for 4 weeks, and that really changed my kind of like perspective, like being an artist. And yeah, I think then everything started like and came together pretty naturally.
Okay. So I personally felt an evolution. Like the first album was more metal. This one has more industrial stuff, maybe trap influences. Did you also feel the evolution? Can you explain the evolution?
Actually, I don't feel any evolution in that, you know. So for me, it's like I'm just writing what I like to write, you know. So I would say if the track's turning out calm, you know, I don't try to transfer it into something heavy, you know. So and I just try to use my inspiration when I hear something, you know, and I listen to a shitload of music, you know, from different kinds of genres, I would say. So, and whatever I'm listening to and I feel inspired by, I probably just get input and just try to make it my own track, kind of like, you know. So there's nothing that I focus on, okay, I just wanted to write a hard track or whatever, you know. So maybe there is an evolution, I don't know, but I can feel it, you know. So if you're in this creative process, you know, for me everything, I don't know, feels old after a while, you know. And I don't know, I attempt to write new music, you know, just to try, I don't know, whatever. It's hard to explain, you know. Okay. Whatever comes into my mind, I try to turn it into music.
Okay. So on the previous record you had a metal guest. Mm-hmm. And now you teamed up with the producer Code Pandorum. I don't know if I say it right. How did the collaboration happen?
Also, we are friends for a couple of years now, and we've been always exchanging ideas. And like on that record, it was like, so there was this track, Deathlist. I mean, there have been 2 versions. There was like a full band version because he had this idea. So I was collaborating on that track, and I said, yeah, I just wanted to make it a full band version to use it on my record. So we had something like, okay, he's doing his stuff, and like the opposite way, you know. So and yeah, Deathless, I don't know, I guess it was released like 2 years ago or something, but yeah, so now it's called Murder, and it's like the full band version, you know. So and yeah, we know each other like for many years, always exchanging ideas, and I always loved his style, you know. This is how we just came in contact like in the first place.
Okay. So you said your biggest work had to listen to yourself to create music. So could you please tell us what is your inspiration to create music on lyrics?
Most of the time for me, it's when something is bothering me, or I try to make it through some hard times. Every time I write a music, it just gets a little bit better, you know, when the track is finished or something, because you have to just think about it over and over again with all the facets, you know. So usually it's like, yeah, you have something, I don't know, for example, if you split up with somebody, this is just, it's going to take some time for sure, you know. But if you really just dive deep into that and just try to see the whole picture of everything, you know, it's like in a short amount of time you just reflect a lot on everything, you know, and you just, I don't know, it's much more intensive the way like to deal with things. And I think this is how I write music. Every time I got a thought in my mind or whatever, and I feel inspired, I just try to compensate it, or just, I don't know, to overcome this chapter kind of like through, yeah, writing music, you know. So and that helps a lot. So this is how I function, like when it comes down to songwriting, you know.
Do you maybe you see this as a therapy?
Kind of like, but sometimes it's weird because I start writing music, I'm just inspired, and I don't understand what I'm writing about. It's sometimes really like, okay, so if I just look on the track, like after 1 month or so, or 3 months or whatever, you know, it feels different, but I understand what I wanted to tell myself like 3 months ago, you know. Sometimes it's pretty subtle and I don't even get it.
Okay. So maybe you think you improved yourself as a singer and songwriter with this album?
I think yes, but this is just the experience like over the past years, you know. So it's like when I left my old band, it was like, okay, I knew the basics, but I don't know. So for me, it was like I didn't know that I was even capable of writing my own record, you know. And now it's more like, okay, I know how I function as an artist, I know the equipment better, I know experimenting is good, and so on. So the workflow is definitely a lot more different than before, you know.
Okay. So do you think it's easier to create everything by yourself, or having a full band creating with you?
Both. I would say sometimes it's hard to get along with each other, you know. So I have the creative freedom just to express myself however I want. Sometimes I just write with other people as well, you know. So, but it's always like me who has to take the decisions. But it's tough because there is a lot of pressure on yourself, you know. And sometimes you just need a second opinion, which could be hard, you know. But I think it's sometimes it's complicated, you know. So there are advantages and disadvantages, you know.
Okay. So you're currently on tour with Blind Channel on the Rock Band from Hell. How is the tour going so far?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the beginning of the tour was pretty stressful for us because we are just driving with 2 Sprinter vans, not anymore. So we have a Nightliner since yesterday, you know, but that was pretty punk rock, like really back in the days, you know. I mean, I won't complain about that, but problem for me as a singer is always like lack of sleep, and we had a lot of lack of sleeps. Like it was, I don't know, like sometimes 3 hours, 4 hours just in the bus, you know, and that was pretty tough, like. But everything is great. I mean, the other 2 bands are lovely, so I know Blind Channel for many years now, and yeah, it's a great travel party. Shows are great, lovely people, so nothing to complain about. It's a great tour.
Okay. So tonight is your second time you play in La Machine du Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Do you like this venue?
I like it a lot, but outside the parking situation is a special thing for sure.
Outside is definitely hell.
Yes. Oh man, I can't remember. Like, it was the same thing like last time when we've been here with Bad Omens. You know, it's like everything is in a rush, and it just gets worse the later it gets. You know, so and if you have to do the loadout, you have to push everything on the street and so on. You know, no, but the place is great. So a great venue, people are lovely, and yeah. Except for the loading situation, everything's good.
We're sorry for that, but it's Paris, you know.
Yeah, true.
So, what can we expect about tonight's show?
know, just 5 stupid kids having fun on stage, I would say, you know. So, yeah, just fun. That's always a hard question, you know. It's always like always try to stay humble, and most of the artists are just saying, yeah, you can't expect this and that and that. And, you know, for me, it's like, well, I don't know if we're good or not. Just have fun, you know. If you like it, just show it to your friends. Just keep on visiting. I'm happy if you do, you know. But yeah,
That's the best answer.
okay, perfect.
So, what led you to the music universe back in time?
This answer is simple. Basically, I just wanted to have a home, you know. So I was always as a kid just looking for my thing, and so actually I started playing guitar back in the days. I'm just a guitar player, you know. So and accidentally I just came into this position. Okay, now you're a singer, and then now we have like 12 years later or whatever, you know. So, but in the first place, it was like I was just looking for my thing, and when I started writing music, I've realized, yeah, you can really just create your own little world, you know, just within music. And yeah, that was the reason why I originally started with music.
Okay. What was the very first album or CD you ever bought?
Oh my god, that is hard. I think it was probably Chair Believe. Yeah, I was pretty young, you know, and I was listening to a lot of music, but not, it was so different, you know. So I would say it was Chair or Guano Apes, probably Proud Like a God. Yeah, it was like I was listening to a lot of mixed music, you know, so it was not like really metal or rock or whatever. It was more pop music, but I would say, I don't know if it was Chair or Guano Apes, something like that.
Surprising, but okay. So, while we're talking about music, how do you work on GHØSTKID's live show? Do you prepare the stuff or do you just go wild?
No, so there is a lot of preparation going on, but the problem about us is we're a big mess, you know. It's always, everything is last minute, and we're doing a lot of stuff like DIY, you know. And I mean, you know, I can't program lights and shit, but what we do is a lot of crafting. So for example, the drum set, you know, so I just kind of like build it. I mean, not like really the shells and so on, but so we are wrapping everything with foil, just doing printings, you know, just put some LED lights in there, okay, and so on. So everything that I'm capable of just understanding or just realize with my brain and just with what I can do, you know. So I try to do it, and it's a lot of fun just to experiment with that, you know. It's the same with music. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like,
as long as you're doing good.
Somehow it works. I don't know.
So, according to you, how much is the input of a band's visual aspect to the music during a show?
Oh, I think it's pretty important because nowadays, I mean, the world is so fucking fast, you know, so, and I think we communicate on so many different levels. It's not just only the music, and I always compare it like to a movie, you know, if you wouldn't have like those cinematic soundtracks and everything, you know. So music is definitely like underlining pictures, and it's like the opposite way, you know. I mean, if you have a perfect band on stage which is just playing and just look normal, probably it wouldn't be a show, you know. I mean, you can listen to it on a record or whatever, you know. So, and I think it's just another aspect of communication, and it goes hand in hand. I would say you should just dress, or you should use like this opportunity just to, I don't know, like tell your story on another level if you got the chance, you know.
Okay, I understand. Maybe you have plans for the future with GHØSTKID, especially about live and other stuff?
So after this tour, we're gonna be on tour with Black Veil Brides in the United States. Oh, nice. Then we have a bunch of festivals, and at the end, we're gonna play our first headlining tour after 4 years, finally. Nice. Yes, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, but these are the plans for this year, you know. And eventually, new music, not a new album, but probably a new single and so on. So these are basically the plans for this year.
Okay. Maybe you also know and maybe like some French bands?
Some quotes or whatever, or just...
It can be metal, it can be anything, but from France. Okay.
I would say Stop Smoking, because I don't know, I'm just telling it like every time. And yeah, just listen to Hollywood Suicide. If you like it, show it to your friends. If you don't like it, just put some hate comments in on Instagram or whatever. No, I would say, yeah, just check out my music if you like it. So I'm happy, and yeah, have a nice day.
On the very last question, it's a really tricky one.
Okay. With
which dish would you compare your music with?
Oh my god, that's a good question.
Thank you.
What? Oh shit. Oh damn. I don't know. Something like mixed cuisine or something. Like I don't know. Probably. I would say a Happy Meal at McDonald's.
Okay. That's the best answer I ever had.
Well, I don't know. You have a lot of shit in there, right? It's like. Yeah, probably. Or dinner in the dark at McDonald's. And you just get a Happy Meal. That you can't see the toys.
Amazing.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you
again.
guys.